friends. Welcome to yet another amazing episode of the Silverwood Show podcast. It's an amazing episode because we are just about there. And we're so close. We're inches away. I'm here with my co-host, Jordan, and we're here to talk about our 2025 kickoff. And we have a special guest today.
We do. We have Juston Henry, who is our general manager.
Yes, talking all things what it takes to get ready for this.
There's a lot.
Big day.
There's a lot that it takes between getting ready for opening, and then also he's going to talk about dry run, which I know we've been mentioning the last couple of weeks of what that is and how it went. And so there's a lot to look forward to when he gets on here to talk all things Silverwood.
Literally, and he's been here a while, so he knows it all. So, but before we do that, let's get into the Park Pulse and go over some stuff.
Park Pulse.
And by stuff, I mean, Jordan, guess what? Oh, he knows.
What?
But you guys might not know that Eagle Hunt is officially #1 best water coaster in the country based upon you guys' votes in the USA Today Best Poll Readers Poll. It's
it's amazing. I mean, I've said before, we've never had anything on that nominated to be on that, let alone win it. Right? So it's so cool to see the fans jump on and support us. But also when we pulled that up and it was
the most exciting.
Wait, did it win? And it was it won. It was
the
just
whole office was
screaming. Excited. And
I got goosebumps just now. Just even zoom in on my goosebumps. It was incredible, and the fact that we were dead last.
Yeah, we started off
dead last
from the bottom.
Started at the bottom.
Now we're here. Yes.
Okay. Anyway, just thank you guys for coming together as a community, and let's put Silverwood on the map this summer. And I think that's a great way.
Yeah, that's a good way to start it for sure.
We're super proud. So thank you for that. We got our May weekends and our specials going on right now. Jordan, tell me a little bit about that.
We're starting off this weekend, which is opening weekend, is our anniversary weekend, and $37 for general admission or $19.88 for youth senior, which is celebrating our 37th year, or the 1988 is when we opened in 1988. So we have that coming, and then it's Mother's Day weekend where mom gets in free, kids weekend, youth get in free, so 7 and under are free. And then we're into Memorial Day weekend with the water park opening and all that stuff. So, and Heroes Weekend, it's a lot to look forward to in the month of May. Yeah,
it's going to be a great month. And visitor guide is up on the Silverwood Express blog. There's a contest on there, so you can enter to win your tickets. And of course, that kind of goes hand in hand with last week's episode, which was our 2025 visitor guide. So you can kind of plan ahead. We chose our conductors. I'm going to be posting those today. So make sure to check out Instagram and Facebook so you can see those new faces for our ambassador program. So we had a lot of fun at Dry Run as well. So we got a good group of bloggers.
It's always fun to see new faces come in and that are excited to. They're gonna spend the whole summer bringing their family here and then writing content for us about their experience and content for you
to make your life easier.
To give you all the tips and tricks that they've learned over the summer too.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. So that's the Park Pulse.
Make it nice and quick.
Nice and quick, taking the fingers off the pulse and moving right into the mail train. Chug it, chug it.
Mail train.
So we got some questions this week, and I'm just going to do 3 of them. Okay. So let's kick things off with Kristen Hennigan. She wants to know what is the most overlooked attraction at Silverwood. I thought that was a good question.
Overlooked attraction. In what basis, I'm wondering?
I don't know.
In terms of just popularity and it's still fun. Gosh,
I think High Moon Saloon.
I really do. That's a good one. That is a really good one because it's off the beaten path and there's entertainment in there and there's good food.
Great food.
So I like that one. That's a good one. You can take that one.
Okay, so that's the one.
That's
definitely.
yours.
High Moon Saloon. Go on in, see Marvin and Friends. We got some great new things for you this year, and the engineer is going to be singing to their little heart's delight, and some great new food options as well. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then on my side, I think that the Boulder Beach Swirl, which is where you would in Boulder Beach, where you would get all your swirl cones.
Yeah.
It's by the Lazy River. I think that's underrated, mostly because Dippin' Dots and the hard scoop ice cream get so much attention.
Yeah.
So I really like to push that because it is a huge cup of swirl.
Yes,
I mean, it is huge. Like we do with all of our ice cream, it's huge. So I think that's a good one.
Home.
And then, I mean, on the ride side, probably I think Crazy Coaster is actually very underrated.
Really? Tell me why.
It's pretty fun for adults too. And so it's in Critter Camp, so it's like in their kiddie area, right? And so but it's way in the back, and I don't think people really know it even exists. And then they ride it, and it's like, hey, that was actually pretty fun for like a family style ride.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
I like that.
Cool.
Okay, that passes. I'm sure that Kristen would agree. So
good.
Thank you, Kristen. That's a great question. Jordan Grappenstater, he wants to know, how are the wooden coasters maintained and how often do people inspect them? How does the wood not rot?
How does the wood not rot
That's
is a good question.
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, they are inspected daily. Every day that we are open, they are inspected.
Yes.
So we make sure that our maintenance team is all on top of that. And then the off season, I mean, they are checking every bolt, changing it all out, taking apart the entire train, and making sure that they do a very thorough inspection. And then during the season, when they're walking the tracks, they walk the tracks, they make notes of things that they're watching, and then they're replacing anything that needs to be replaced. So that starts like at 3 a.m, and then it goes until we basically open. So that's that. That's the inspection side, and then how the wood doesn't rot is it is a very special treated type of wood. All I've heard it called was like coaster wood, and so it's like high quality wood that is meant to be outdoors and not rot.
I think about like the railroad.
Yeah, the railroad ties.
Yeah, like that kind of wood. So I mean, you can see that.
It's similar. I don't think it has like the oil that or whatever is in that.
But it lasts.
Yes,
like that.
It lasts a long time.
So yeah, that's a great question, Jordan. Thank you. No, not you, Jordan.
Not
this
me,
Jordan.
no.
Yeah. And then there's Nora Amador. She wants to know, when does the water park open this year? Because we've been talking about obviously the dry park opening. So Jordan, what is the date?
The date for the water park is Memorial Day weekend.
Yes. So
that is the first weekend that the water park is open.
Yeah.
And then it's closed during the week. So after that Monday Memorial Day weekend, it closes until the following weekend, and opens again. And then it closes during the week until June 7th.
Okay.
And so after June 7th till Labor Day, it is open every single day of the week.
It's going to be awesome.
It is
awesome. So good question, Nora. Now let me, Friday, so Memorial weekend?
No.
Not open.
Saturday.
Saturday.
Memorial.
Saturday. Okay.
Memorial Day
Saturday,
weekend.
Sunday, Monday.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just getting my dates correct too.
You confused me for a little bit.
I know. I saw the look on your face. I like making Jordan give me funny looks. Like, what is she talking about? Okay. And that's why you have to watch on YouTube too, just in case you are listening on Spotify.
Or any other place.
Yeah. Or any other place. We are on YouTube officially, so you can check out Jordan's confused faces every time I speak. So.
Not every time, but
okay, like 90% of the time. So yeah, so that's it for the mail train, which means it's time to talk to this week's loyal listener. Now, here's the thing: we've got our loyal listener going. You've probably heard about it by now. All you got to do is go to silverwoodthemepark.com/podcast and sign up. There's an option for you to leave us a mail train question, so you could be featured on the podcast. But every week we call a new loyal listener to play a fun little game with us of true or false, and we play a little sounder for your chance to win upwards of, now it's up to $75.
$75.
Yeah, $75. We've raised it. You raised it last week.
I know, but
did you forget?
I thought I raised it to $50 so you could win $75.
Well, yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's what you're saying.
52. Yeah.
Got it.
Once again, he's not understanding.
We are not on the same page right now. It's okay.
But you automatically get a pair of tickets to Silverwood if we call you and you answer your phone. So
That's
if
the
you
key.
see a 208 number, you don't know who it is. It could be us.
Give it an answer.
So let's do our random number generator and see out of 1,264 loyal listeners who we're calling today.
We have a winner.
And I am hearing that our winner is random number 3. Out of
Lucky
1,200.
number 3.
Yeah, interesting. So let's give them a call.
There we go.
Marsha!
Hello.
Marsha, how are you today?
I've never heard that before.
I bet
sure
you
you
haven't. Well, hey,
First time for everything.
this is Sarah and Jordan, and we
Hello.
are with the Silverwood Show podcast. And you were like our third loyal listener, and you were our
wonderful.
random number that got generated out of like 1,200 today.
Oh my gosh.
Your lucky day.
It is your lucky
It
day.
is.
So
It is. I agree.
you officially have won a pair of tickets to Silverwood, but we've got a game to play. You want to play a game
Okay.
with us?
Okay.
Okay, let me explain this to you really quick. It's a game of true or false. And every time
Okay.
you get an answer correct, you're going to get $5 of Silverwood cash.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And then at the end, we have a sounder that we're going to play for you for another $50 bonus if you get
Oh
it
my
correct.
gosh. Okay.
Okay, but you're
Get my
always going to
thinking
get those
cap on.
two tickets, no matter what. Okay.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Thank you.
All right. So, are you ready for your first true or false question?
Ooh, I'm ready.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
nervous.
Don't be nervous. You get a
Okay.
50-50 chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Stunt Pilot was the most ridden coaster in the park last year.
True.
True. It was actually
Correct.
ridden 47,562 times.
Yeah, that is
Man.
a lot.
Crazy.
That's a lot.
That's crazy. Yeah.
My sister wrote it. I was a chicken.
You're a chicken?
Yeah.
Well, with your tickets this year, you're just going to have to hop on, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
She just went by herself. Okay. I'm ready.
You got $5 in the bank. On to the next question.
Okay.
Panic Plunge dropped the equivalent of 3,500 Space Needles last year.
Ooh. Wow. I've done both of those things. Not jumped off the space.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. But
Good, we were a little
being in the
concerned.
space-
I was scared for a second.
I'm just guessing. Yes, I'll say true. I don't know.
That's correct.
Nice
Good
work,
job.
Marsha.
Okay.
We got $10 in the bank. And we're
Okay.
moving on to the next question. Okay.
Okay.
We scooped 30,000 gallons of ice cream last year.
I'm going to say yes. True.
Oh,
That's wrong.
that
I
was
might have
close.
exaggerated that one a little bit.
Oh,
we
little bit,
scooped
okay.
15,237.
Darn it. Okay. I thought
That's
the big
okay.
number seemed right.
But now we've got a goal in mind for 2025.
Yeah, we can go 30,000 this year.
Absolutely. Okay, next one. Glider races used to be held at Silverwood Theme Park.
I could see how they would. I don't know. I'm going to guess again. True.
Good job.
Correct.
Yes.
Nice.
Back in the day.
Yes. Back in the day of the airstrip. So you now
Wow.
have $15,
$15 in the bank.
Here comes
Okay.
another one. Santa
Okay.
used to visit the park in September.
In September?
Yeah.
In September.
I'm going to say false.
That's actually true.
It is true. Back in the
Oh, we
day,
did it.
Santa would
Yeah.
come visit us in September
Yeah.
for just a
I remember
special
when
visit.
Garfield used to visit.
Yeah.
That's yes,
I
that
didn't
did
remember
happen
that.
too.
Yes, we had a lot of great visitors over the year, but that is still $15.
That's $15.
In the
Okay.
bank. Now, we have
Okay.
a sounder. Jordan, go ahead and tell her the guesses that have been made already.
So this soundbite is a ride that's either in Silverwood or Boulder Beach. Okay, so
Okay.
the rides that have been guessed that are wrong so far are Log Flume, Thunder Canyon, Bumper Boats, Eagle Hunt,
And Riptide Racer.
and Riptide Racer. So all of those have been guessed and those have been wrong.
Wrong.
So
Okay.
Are you
here-
ready for your sound?
I'm ready.
here
Okay,
it comes.
here we go.
Oh my god! Could it be? I forgot what it's called. The wave pool. Where the waves are getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, the wave pool? Is that
Yeah.
your final answer?
Yes.
I'm sorry. That's a good guess,
That
though. That
was
is a
a
good
really
guess.
good guess.
But okay.
We're whittling
We're
it down, but you
We're
still
very
got
much-
$15,
yeah.
which you can buy ice cream, funnel
Funnel
cakes,
cakes.
whatever you
I'll
want
take
with
it.
that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
so nice. Thank you.
No, thank you for signing up to be a loyal listener. And I will be getting a hold of you here momentarily, and we'll go over what you need to do to pick up those tickets and we'll call.
Okay. Gosh. Well, thank you so much. I really
Marsha.
appreciate it.
Thank
we
you so
appreciate
much.
you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. It just got
Bye-bye.
better.
Great. Bye.
Bye.
I love it when they answer their phone.
I
See
know.
what happens when you answer your phone? You get to go to Silverwood for free.
That is a good
I mean,
incentive to answer your phone, as
yeah.
long as it's 208.
Yeah, don't answer those 1-800
And-
numbers and those,
right,
those private
well-
numbers. Those are not, yeah. Social Security office,
well,
toll booths.
maybe
don't
answer
answer
those.
those.
Okay.
Okay. So that wraps up the mail train. Again, if you want to be next week's loyal listener, make sure to sign up at silverwoodthemepark.com/podcast. What do you say we head into that big drop?
The Big Drop.
And we are back, and we have a very special guest this week as we're leading into opening day. We thought there was one man for the job, right, Jordan? And so I'm
Yes.
going to introduce you guys now to Juston Henry. He is our general manager here at Silverwood, and he's been here for a hot minute.
He's been here.
Yeah,
Yes.
for a while. So, Justin, before we kind of move on to, the guts of everything, tell us a little bit about your experience here. When did you start working here? What was your first job? Straight up until now.
All right. Well, my first job was in 1990. Which is
1990.
the
Wow.
first year of the carnival opening.
Okay.
I was hired into the Ferris Wheel department, otherwise known as rides.
Oh.
I like to call it the Ferris Wheel department because I think I ran the Ferris wheel like 90% of the time I was
Gotcha.
here because no one else
Okay.
wanted to.
And the Ferris wheel has never been the same since 1990.
No, it hasn't.
No.
Yeah, but
Wait,
no,
is it? It's the same Ferris wheel, right? Yeah.
there's
Is it?
been some updates.
Yeah.
Okay.
updates.
Updated Ferris wheel. Yeah.
Yes.
Same place.
Yes.
Okay. Very
Yep.
cool. Okay.
But no,
Continue.
started in rides and then moved over and did some games
Okay.
for a few years. Got into some leadership roles in that position. Then that moved over to some retail opportunities. So I was doing retail and games and did that for a few more years. And then that eventually rolled into a spot in operations. And so I did some operations, which moved into some retail revenue coming back and food and beverage being added on that for a little while. And then did that for a few more years as these years keep adding up. And then, was asked for with the assistant general manager spot, which then grew into the general manager spot where I'm currently at. So
My goodness.
Yeah.
What year was that the general
Yeah.
manager?
I believe this is my third year of doing
Very
the
cool.
general manager position.
Very cool.
And
Yeah,
since
but it's been fun. There's not a lot of departments I haven't done.
That's literally my next
been
question.
in.
What have you
Yeah.
not worked yet? So obviously podcast hosting. So
Yeah,
we can
right.
mark off the
There we
podcast
go.
stuff off your list today. So we're kicking things off. And so we're kind of getting prepared, and you definitely know the ins and outs of everything. So should we talk about dry run and how things kind of went down?
Yeah, like first, like for everybody, what is dry run?
Yeah.
All right. Well, dry run day, it's a great day for us at Silverwood to just get everything turned on at once, get everyone that's been in for their training a chance to come out and see what it's like with live guests versus our training and scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
And just overall, a real good experience to get ready for the upcoming season. You know, we definitely gives us a chance to see what has been missed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you do different like scenarios
Yeah.
and just that.
Oh yeah,
practice scenarios and all that.
Throughout the day, we do all kinds of scenarios for all of our departments. You know, so our food and beverage, security, first aid, rides. We're doing scenarios all throughout that day just to get everyone used to what's going to happen and what could potentially happen, all the way down to a park evac at the end of the night.
Yes. Our fake wildfire that we
Yeah,
had.
right.
I had some Girl Scouts in, giving them a tour. You met them actually, Justin, and it was fun to kind of let them know that their job for the day to earn their patch was to act as a guest and to ask every cast
hard,
member
yeah.
that they could find any questions that they had. So I had them running around the park asking every question they possibly could, and let them know, don't be scared. There's going to be some scary things happening. And instead they were like, "Ooh, we want to ride Tremors or Timber Terror when it breaks down and all
Yeah.
this stuff." So they had a lot of fun. Cool. So
What are some of like specific of the scenarios that you were you around for most of them? And
I was around for a chunk of them for sure. Where we do scenarios where we stop our coaster on the lift hill, work on an evac practice. We do some scenarios for security with dealing with some guest interactions. We do a lot with first aid, and I don't know what the scenario was this year, but we work with Timberlake, our local, where they come down so that our staff can see the whole process playing through in a practice scenario.
that
very
yeah,
cool.
and that is all useful because a lot of this stuff do happen during the year, but this is like a controlled environment for them to work on this type of stuff. Correct.
And-
Yes, no, 100%. Yep.
Yep.
And it's a good eye opener for a lot of the guests or the staff, because training is one thing, but when you start doing it with real guests and real scenarios, it's
a lot more
really
real.
really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Have we done dry run every year that you've been here, or did we start that later?
I know we've been doing it for quite a while. It's been a long time since 1990, so I don't know if we were doing it way back then, but I know we've been doing it for many years now, and it's definitely been a valuable day for us to, like I said, just get prepared for when we go live this weekend.
Yeah, so many different things, even, season tickets and getting prepared for how that's going to look. And I know I had my conductors, my ambassadors come through, and being able to go through that and give them their season tickets and kind of train everybody on how that's going to look. And it's just every little thing. And it was my first dry run. And so I really didn't know what to expect going into it. And what a great day.
Yeah.
It turned out to be great. Yeah. And it's all those little things, like you said, it's not just the rides, it's making sure all the registers and POS units are running, all the kitchen equipment when everything's turned on at once is going. And it's a really good day.
And getting to taste test the food too. Had some Lindy's and that gingham salad.
Yeah, it's good.
So good.
It's really good.
Yeah, I didn't see anything
Well, yeah.
that went. Yeah, it was perfect. It was a perfect day.
It's perfect, huh?
Yeah,
Was it perfect?
It was almost perfect.
Good.
It was
that.
as far as our dry run days go, it definitely has been one of the better ones that I've been a part of.
I love that.
There was very few things, and a lot of the things that do need fixed were all minor things. So it
And
was
we had
really
perfect
good.
weather.
Yeah, that's
Oh
probably
my
the best
gosh.
weather we've ever
No,
had.
it was probably a handful of days I can ever remember having an actual sunny, nice day for dry run. It's normally cold, wet, or both.
Yeah. Dry run's typically not dry.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing is dry run is never dry. So we definitely got lucky in
I
that
think
aspect.
we'd be probably more concerned if we didn't find anything wrong. We'd be like, wait, what's going
Right?
on?
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
honestly, yeah. How many staff members did we have working dry run? How many cast members?
Well, we try to do a lot of split shifts that day, so it's definitely more than our normal day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the exact number.
But a lot.
It's because we bring in, it's a training day, so we bring in a lot more than what we would staff, and then we typically break a short day into 2 days, into first half, second half. So
Very cool.
try to give as many, especially the first timers, an opportunity to work and get in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, it's so valuable to have those reps under your belt that don't really count,
Right.
like especially like back, I know we don't really want to talk about the evacuation that happened years ago, but because we had the dry run, we were prepared for when that actually did happen, and we were able to be a lot more efficient. Mostly because of the dry run. I mean, because we haven't really had to do that really ever before that.
Yeah, no, that was a hopefully a one-time deal,
Yeah.
and we don't have to do that again. But I agree that the dry run day definitely helps when those scenarios do present themselves.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
time. How many dry run guests? Did we have a good turnout for guests? It looked like it.
Yeah, no, I believe we were up over 2,000, and
wow.
not counting the staff as they were, switching. They're either on or off. But yeah, it turned out to be a really good day. There was lines everywhere.
Yeah,
everyone
great.
was having fun and lots of smiles, which is the key.
Yes, lots of
Absolutely.
smiles on that train.
Yeah.
Watching entertainment do their thing.
It's always fun. I tell everybody that one of the weirdest days of the entire year is when people finally come back to the park, because we're closed for 6 months out of the year, and all of a sudden it's like, wait, there's people here, So when you open up those gates and people come in, it's a new energy that you don't feel for really 6 months out of the year. And I don't know if you feel the same thing in the excitement
you miss
in the
it.
air.
Yep, no, you miss it.
That energy.
Yep,
That's
so-
something else. When people ask you too and stop you, I had to think, I'm wearing my, and you don't recognize other employees because we've seen each other in our normal clothes all off season. And all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, you look different. You're in a polo. What's going on? But
It's definitely nice to see all the winter's work
Mm-hmm.
kind of come all together.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't see all that stuff that goes on in the winter. How much it really takes to go. So.
which is kind of my
watch
next
it.
question.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kind of
Good
leading
segue.
in. Yeah, that's a perfect segue leading into opening day. We have off season. And so you know better than anybody what it takes to get this park ready for another opening day. So let's go back a few months and tell me kind of what the beginning stages were a few months back as to how we got ready for this weekend.
No, I mean, as soon as we shut down at the end of the season, we're already well into looking forward to the next season.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the off season, our maintenance team is doing a lot with getting all of our rides, gone through, checked out, rebuilt. Revenue, our food and beverage team is out there getting all of our food items locked in, menus set up. Revenue, retail side of it is doing shows all winter long, getting all the merchandise, T-shirts, keychains, and it's not just picking out the T-shirt; it's the designs that they're coming up with, which
amazing.
takes a lot of time. And operations has got a lot of going through SOPs and just getting everything ready on their side. So the winter work, it's a lot of work where the days might be shorter for a lot of people, doing an 8-hour day versus our summer where you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But it's a busy stretch. And I know everyone, like Jordan was mentioning, everyone definitely feels that just need for people and to be open and the relief of being open. Like we've made it to this point.
Yes.
And
It's such a successful moment,
Yes.
And that was really cool experiencing for my first time too, just to finally kind of get all the way through because I started
Hey,
during
you're not all the way through yet.
Well, you know what I mean. By getting from the end of a season to the start of a season in terms of off season, I've made it through an off season, and I learned so much.
That's so many people just think like you just turn off a switch and then you turn it back on. But there's, I mean, how many full time do we have now that are working year round and making sure that everything stays tip top?
Yeah, we're right around that 140 mark for year round, which I know when you talk to people, they're just, everyone's surprised at that number. And then seasonally, you know, I think we're in that 2,000 you know, plus range. So it's a lot of people to make the engine run out here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which is really helping, I think, the community as well in terms of, I love seeing these kids get trained at an early age to, you know, do these responsibilities. And man, watching them just, and it's go, go, go. So they're really learning some awesome life skills out here.
There's a lot of hands-on, and I'm sure you've seen that a lot with just that the fear in the eyes of the first time job, you know, and getting in front of guests and like seeing the progression through the year. Like how satisfying is that to see?
Oh, it's awesome. You know, we have a lot of 14, 15-year-olds that we hire out here, which is unique because a lot of places don't hire that young. And on our side, we do parent open houses, and I talk about this too, but like we want to put our best foot forward to teach them the skills. This is a great place to learn multiple skills.
Right.
And a 14-year-old, they're going to work potentially here for 5 years by the time they graduate high school. Yeah. And so like helping with our retention and everything else, it's been great. And then just as far as the kids that have been here at a young age, watching them grow year to year into leadership roles. And a lot of those kids aren't kids anymore to where they're now, you know, in charge of departments and leading big groups.
GMs.
So it's,
you know.
You never know. No, Silverwood it creates so many opportunities out here.
Yeah.
It's a really unique place to work.
It really is. It's wonderful. I know that I found my little slice of heaven out here for sure. So, okay, so that's months out. Now let's go into we're the final month, the month of April.
The push.
So what happens in April that really just gets us going, ready for May 3rd?
Man, what doesn't?
I know, right?
I know, right?
The sun comes out.
Sun, number one.
The weather for sure helps, but there's so much that comes together at the last moment. You know, just from the rides getting put on, obviously, but the stores getting put up, equipment getting turned on, just the training, you know, the April is just, there's so much training going on and people coming and going and learning. And so,
all those familiar faces coming back and new faces showing up. And I know that was really exciting for me was the day I saw my first training group walk by and I was like, there's people here. Yeah. That was the first sign of life. And it just got better and better.
Well, and that's what I mean, during this time for you, I'm sure you're walking around the park, like looking at the details. Cause I mean, the big macro picture is, you know, kind of we're headed into it. The micro
putting
stuff
on the miles for sure.
Yeah.
No, and the details are huge. You know, like we definitely want to make sure everything looks ready to go, you know, up to our standard, you know, which is probably different than a lot of other standards. Like we really want to have that eye for detail and
we do.
Absolutely.
We absolutely do. It's just
that's
stunning.
Such an important thing for Gary specifically. And so to have him come through and see like a job well done, like that's got to feel good for you specifically because there's so many details that have to get in place before that actually comes into. So can you talk about like kind of how your relationship with Gary and just how you work with him to make sure his picture and vision comes to life?
Yeah, it's I guess it's just really trying to make sure his vision is the park's vision and making sure everyone's on that same page to get to that goal, you know, that one common goal. And you know, I've been around for a long time. When I first started out here, you know, I didn't know Gary obviously like I do now, but you know, my first stretch was in rides at the Ferris Wheel, and one of my first impressions of Gary when he was getting started was just running the Ferris Wheel and having him come over and taking the time to talk to this little 16-year-old and ask how the day was going, how the ride was running, and just showing that time. And that's, you know, I'm 50 years old now, and that still stands out to me of just that caring, you know, person, and really wanting to see not just his park take off, but just that care for the staff also. And so that's been huge. And I think, excuse me, I think now just moving forward, you know, it's just really working, you know, with him and having more opportunities to talk to him just to make sure there's clarity on what direction he wants to go with things. And then, me communicating that to everyone else to make sure we're all on that same page.
Yeah, that's a big pair of shoes to fill for sure. Absolutely. And you're doing a great job of it, Justin. I promise.
We try our best.
As a newbie, I this has felt like family from the second I stepped through the gates for the first time, and so that feeling of inclusion and that feeling of just having this really cool employee culture here
that's
is
awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what our goal is that for everyone, like everyone that gets on, especially our full-time staff, it's like, we want them to be here.
Yeah.
We want them to be here and stay till they retire.
Yeah.
Like that's
the plan.
goal.
Yeah.
I always
why
told
not?
Jordan, you can't get rid of me.
Yep.
I hope you know that. So you're stuck with me. But okay, so now we are just a few days out.
Mm-hmm.
We're heading into that final little push.
It is
What
coming.
happens over the next couple days? What has happened this last week that is going to get us ready for Saturday?
Just a lot of closing the details.
Mm-hmm.
We learned a few things on dry run day that have already been addressed. Just making sure everything gets cleaned up in the park. All of our systems, front gate, most of that's been up, but the few things that weren't up, just making sure those are ready. Season pass desk is going to be a very popular place these first few weekends. So getting that area prepared and ready for the lines. And I think we're
ready.
here.
Yeah.
Dry run went well.
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of training classes this year and just seen what's going on to where I'm really excited about this season and just really, like a lot of people I've talked to, just really excited to get rolling, have live guests in the park and eventually get to our everyday full-time operation.
Well, and that kind of leads into the next question is like, what are you most excited for this upcoming year? 2025, what is going to stick out to you when it's all said and done?
When it's all said and done. Obviously, when we talk about cast members, to me, it's just really creating that bond where we have a really good retention. So that means a lot that we don't have a high turnover, and hopefully that leads to better retention. On the ride side, the fun side, like I'm definitely excited for Tremors. When that gets up and going, we did some stuff on Timber Terror where I was able to ride that, and that ride is phenomenal.
And you're not a ride person, so
oh, really?
I was a huge rides when I was younger, but I don't ride a lot of rides anymore. And so I definitely went on Timber Terror because everyone was talking about it. And so I rode that last year, and from last year to this year is a huge difference. It was just really a smooth, gliding around the track. So
That's awesome.
It was really, really a good ride.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
You
So
did
that's
it too,
great.
didn't you, Jordan?
I haven't ridden it yet.
You
No,
haven't yet?
No.
Oh, you've just heard.
I just
You're
heard.
going to enjoy it.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
can't wait.
Yeah. He probably heard it from you because, he said it was
I've heard it from a
super
lot of
smooth.
people, but I definitely heard it from Justin. And,
So, I'm excited for that as well.
How about like on like the food side and even moving into like Boulder Beach? What are you looking forward to?
Well, the food side, last year we brought in a new director, Rochelle, that did an amazing job with our queue lines, which has been a concern for us. So continuing the growth on that with just that consistency and efficiency side of it is going to be nice. I know they got a new elephant ear. Elephant.
Oh, we got
Well,
an
there is
elephant.
an elephant.
There might be an
Yes, there
elephant,
is
but
an
that's in a
elephant.
different department. But no, we have a new
We'll save that
elephant.
for a later episode.
But there is a new elephant ear in that is going to be really worth taking your time to go to Sugar Shack and get one of those. Yeah.
And floats to go.
Floats to go.
Yeah, floats to go. No, she brought in a lot of really exciting stuff this year.
Yeah.
It was funny. So I was at Ice Creamery this last week and getting my daughter an ice cream cone for dry run.
Yeah.
And I saw a couple of people with floats to go, and one, you talked about it before. It's like people are like, what is that?
Yep.
Right.
How do you use that? And like all of a sudden there's 4 more coming out from behind that person because everybody saw what it was, and it's such a cool contraption, and people are, I think, going to be really excited about it once they figure out how to use it.
It's like the evolution of the blood bags during Scarywood.
Yeah.
One person saw a blood bag, and pretty soon, I need that.
Yes.
I need that. I
Yep,
need
there
that.
was a
So
line. No,
I think it'll be the same with Cosmos Cantina.
No, that'll
as
be
well,
good.
yeah.
Yep, that'll be popular. And then I heard we got some new items in at High Moon that were really popular in the training. So I'm excited to try those out.
That's great.
Delicious.
I know.
So how about of all time? I'm curious, like, do you have like a memory, a highlight, some kind of moment that just really sticks to like with you that is one of your fondest memories of the park and working here?
Fondest memories.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of memories, for
Yeah.
sure over the years, but I think just the one thing is probably being here as long as I have of how many people that I know that are working here now, but also from all the years.
Yeah.
and probably just having them come back in the park and running into them and being like, oh, wow, like I worked with you in games back in 1994. And then they're introducing me to their kids that they're bringing out, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then we do training, and there's a lot of kids that will come up and they'll say, hey, my mom or dad said to say hi. And then they'll tell me their mom or dad. And it's like, oh my gosh, I worked with them. And, it's cool. But as far as like fondest memories, it's really just I think being around these people that are growing, with you and with us, and just watching them really be able to expand. I think that's what's been really cool for me. We have a lot of staff that has been here a long time. Kelsey, our warehouse manager, I hired her as a candy store girl a long time ago.
Okay.
And now she's, running our warehouse and does a phenomenal job. And so just one example, but there's a lot
How
of people.
about watching this guy?
Yeah.
From an intern to, that's a success story all in itself as well. So
there's a lot of
There's so many of
a
those.
lot of cool stories out here
really are.
with how they got here and how long they've been here. And then a lot of people just, have had the bouncing around like myself of the opportunity to do different departments. Cause like I said, opportunity out here presents itself in a lot of ways. So.
Yeah, it definitely does. So, which I absolutely love too. You see it everywhere. And I love having different people on this couch telling those stories about, where they started and where they are now. And
so many people have been here for so many years.
Yes.
And it's just a testament to the park and the management and all the way from the top down is it's a fun place to work. It's a great place to work. Right. And they see the opportunity, right? And to come from, how many of those managers right now started Frontline is incredible because Silverwood's just a place where people want to be a part of. And I think that's what speaks to itself is just the longevity of people here at the park.
Yeah. And that's why we're having a super smooth dry run because as it continues, you just get better and better and more efficient. So I think we're doing things right around here. I think Justin's doing things. Yeah. Very, very well. So what was the next one? Or did you have something you wanted to do before?
Well, no,
okay.
I think you can move on.
We can move on. Okay.
Should I be nervous?
No, you shouldn't be nervous.
I'm nervous too. Should I be nervous?
You should be nervous.
Okay.
You should always be nervous. I think like if you took off, like say you had like one thing that you wanted to add to the park.
Yeah.
You could add anything you wanted. What do you think the park needs the most? It could be on the guest side or the back side.
Yeah, no, on the guest side, I would probably just look into more of the family rides that the whole family can get on. I know we have some, but I think that would be a spot we could add on, and do some more of. On the cast member side, I just think it's that continuing to make sure we're giving them all the tools and equipment that they need to do their job right. So
yeah,
I don't know if I have a real solid answer for that one.
Fine.
I thought you were gonna say storage, but
there's storage.
Well, we took the last storage closet and made it a podcast
office,
studio.
some office buildings.
yes, there's all that stuff.
Actually,
we
tell
definitely have
everyone
all
what this used to be.
Yeah.
Right here that we're sitting in this podcast
This
studio.
was one of our first real dispatch stations for Silverwood. So
What's dispatch?
It's I guess is our communication hub for the whole park. So if anyone needs anything, they'll call dispatch. They'll get you with the right person. So a very busy place. But this has been a lot up here. Where a long time ago when I first started in the 90s, it was our game storage. So we used to store stuffed animals up here, and it was an office to many people throughout the years. And and now we've moved on to the podcast studio, and it actually looks great in here. Definitely the nicest it's looked.
Yes, put it in the book.
Seriously, it's amazing. After 20 years in radio prior to coming here, never did I think my dream would come true of a podcast at a theme park. Here's something you're working for so long, and then it just took me coming here, and Jordan was like, "Oh, I can make that dream a reality."
Here we go. Well,
snaps his fingers, boom.
It's been fun.
It has been a lot of fun.
We're going to continue the fun because I do have a game for us to play.
Okay.
And this is going to be between Justin and Sarah.
This is going to be so ugly.
Yeah. So
how he does this to embarrass me on purpose.
How this game works is for someone who's been here since 1990 versus someone who's been here since 2024. Okay. So we're going to think back to when Tremors opened in 1999. Okay. So I had a park map.
Okay.
I looked at that park map, and I have some locations that are different from what they are now.
Okay.
So I'm going to give a description of a place based off of like what is it across from, or what's it location in the park. You are going to try to guess what I'm describing.
Okay.
Okay. If you get it wrong, then Justin gets a chance to guess.
Okay.
But Justin also has to guess what was there in 1999.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So kind of a double. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So first question for Sarah is, name the location across from the South Creamery.
Murray. Well, Sugar Shack. No.
No. What is
No.
across from South Creamery?
Car is currently there.
Car or Panic Plunge.
Panic
Yeah.
Plunge. Yeah, Panic Plunge.
Oh, other side. Okay.
Yeah, you're on the other side.
I was thinking.
Okay,
of the
so
ice
but in 1999, what was over there?
cream.
Across from.
What is now South Creamery? What was in Panic Plunge's location?
Ooh.
This is a
That's
hard
tough
one. This is a hard one.
I didn't- tough one.
I didn't even know this existed.
didn't?
So no.
Well, I'm
Oh.
thinking Skydiver, but that was not.
That was-
that's where the wagon is next to South Creamery.
Yes.
We had remote controlled boats, but that's where Car was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think
Okay.
you might have me stumped here.
It's called Balloon Bath.
Oh,
What's a
What is
balloon
it? I don't even know
bath?
what this is.
it was water balloons. Yep. No,
Okay.
that's right. So,
Wait, actual
we
water
had,
balloons?
So we had a water balloon station. There's 3 stations on each side. We would fill up water balloons all day and all night and charge for people to come in and shoot water balloons with a slingshot back and forth at each other.
Can we bring it
That
back?
is crazy.
It was fun, but it was so labor intensive.
I was gonna say, yeah, that
You
was
can imagine
very
tying water
time-consuming.
balloons for 8 hours.
Oh my gosh. And they didn't have the cool ones where you can just fill up and they automatically tie
Yeah.
themselves.
No,
you know?
no, we had this cool cut PVC pipe. You'd loop it around and then tuck it to help. But yeah, it nonetheless, you were tying water balloons all day long. And
Okay.
then the mess that it made.
Oh,
to
I'm
pick up
sure.
everything.
Oh
Oh,
my
my gosh.
When I,
I
saw
mean-
that, I was like, I don't even know what this is, but
Balloon bath.
Balloon bath.
Yeah.
I've worked there many times. That's why I put it out of my head because
He literally has
Yeah.
blocked it out of his
Yes.
those memories that we talked about. That was
Yes.
not
Yeah,
one of
that
them.
was
He's
not
like,
one of them.
yeah.
scooch that
Got
out
it.
of there.
Okay.
Okay.
Next one.
Okay.
Name the location across from Dippin' Dot South and next to Timber Terror.
Wait.
Are you directionally challenged?
Yeah. Big time. Aftershock? No. Oh,
wrong.
Okay.
Wrong. What is that?
So across from
Dippin' Dot South and next to Timber Terror.
the cool cactus.
Yes, cool cactus. What was there in 1999?
Burrito Bandito.
Correct.
Ooh.
Burrito Bandito.
Burrito Bandito.
That was good job.
Justin's ate there before.
Yes. Well, so it was
Yes.
basically the same cuisine as Cool Cactus, correct? Like,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Pretty Mexican.
pretty close to the same menu.
Okay.
Yeah. But they also had South Creamery there too.
They did. It was in a little side window.
Oh.
Yes. So I thought that was interesting.
Okay. I like
Okay,
it.
moving on to number
okay.
3.
Okay. I got this one.
Name the location if you keep walking north of the candy store between Tigger's Garden and the candy store entrance. This is a tricky one.
Past there. That's the little thingy that goes in circles. No? It doesn't
Think something scary would.
Oh. Scarywood.
At the end of the boardwalk, you keep going.
Wait. North.
Okay, we're gonna have to do a more of a tour. We're gonna do a tour after this and get
Yes, please.
It's an actual map.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Blood Bayou was what I was going for.
Oh, wait.
Candy store.
Oh, I was thinking the candy. Oh, no, that's a toy store. I'm over here.
You're
I'm on
you're
this
wrong.
side.
Wrong
I'm on
end.
the wrong side of the park
Okay.
altogether. So
In 1999, what
I
was
know
Blood
what that
Bayou?
was. The Ice Palace. Sorry.
Oh, whoa. You're right.
I know.
You're
Sorry,
right.
I had to steal it from you.
You
I had to get
stole
one
it.
right.
The Ice Palace. Okay.
Yeah,
Move
yeah.
it. We're just going to move on.
Okay. Sorry,
Name
Justin.
the food
I
venue.
didn't mean to
the
steal that
season
from you.
pass desk was back there.
Really?
Oh, really?
Around that time too.
Interesting.
Okay, so he
in the
gets point
lobby.
2 because.
Okay, we'll give him a point too.
Yeah.
Name the food venue next to Corkscrew.
The pizza place? Caselli's?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Good job.
Okay.
And in 1999, what was over there?
To me,
Yes, to you.
Cold Springs.
Cold Springs is right.
Oh,
that was
nice,
still pizza,
yeah.
right?
Yes,
That was
a
pizza.
very, very small version of what we have now.
Apparently, people still ask for it often.
For Cold Stone?
No,
No, not Cold
Springs.
Stone. Cold Springs.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, that's a question that comes up still. So there are still people living
In the past.
In the past.
In the 1999.
Yes,
Yep. Okay.
yes.
Well, great.
So
Name the park area that includes Tiny Toot Coaster.
Critter Camp.
Critter Camp is correct. Good job. And in 1999, what was that called?
Tinywood.
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 Tinywood opened in 1998. Like, so that expansion, was there really like no kiddie rides before then?
There was the carousel,
Okay.
which is where the helicopters are now.
Oh, wow.
Before
Okay.
it was up on the other end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that used to be like pony rides back in the day. Like
Yes.
real pony rides.
Yeah,
Real
they
ponies,
had real
yeah.
ponies up there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Okay. This one, I did not know this one from 1999, so we'll
okay.
see how this goes. Name the ride across from the Mine Shack and adjacent to Tiny Toot roller coaster. For those who are listening, you can basically watch her brain work right now.
Mine Shack.
The wheels are turning.
Yeah.
Is that the climbing tree things?
No,
No,
unfortunately, it's not.
Okay.
I was thinking of Barnstormer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
what was in
Okay.
Barnstormer's place back then?
I don't know the name, but I'm gonna guess it was some pump cars.
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
I don't
It was
remember the
called
name
the
of it,
Pump
though.
Cars.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice
Right.
work. Very
Yeah.
nice.
So what were the pump cars?
Yeah.
Those were dangerous.
They were dangerous.
There was a small track
Okay.
and a little set of they look like mine cars.
Okay, like pump.
And so you
okay,
had
that's
the
where that
pump.
name gets.
But
okay.
they were just kind of there, and so kids would get in there. They would pump fast. They were like a bumper car.
Oh my god!
Or you would get older kids that would just push them and go way too fast.
Got it.
So I don't think they were here more than a year before they were pulled. But
Which is funny because I
Okay.
pulled the 2000
Yeah.
map and they aren't there
They
anymore.
definitely aren't there. No.
So they were in 99.
I think I rode that when I was a little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because and right next to it there was like a
I remember
sandbox.
that. Mhm.
there was, with some
Yeah.
toy trucks
Yeah.
and then
Wow.
and then there was a small little squirt gun
Yes.
section there.
Fort
Very
something.
fun.
It was Fort
It
Squirt.
was a Fort something.
Yeah,
Fort
Fort
Squirt.
Squirt.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Okay. Moving on. We have well, you were close to here before. But
Okay.
Name the location to the north of Country Barbecue, where we sit right now.
Okay.
To the north.
North. Can I get out my compass?
You may not.
Okay, north. North. Can you at least tell me which way is north? Like, what way is our
This way is north. Our office is north.
Our office is north.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I needed. To the north of Country Barbecue?
Yes.
Is the toy store.
Toy store, correct. Good job.
See, if I know my directions, I just
Yes.
don't know north, south, east,
Got
or
it.
west. Yeah.
In 99,
Left, right, or hard.
what was the location where Toy Store is?
Bullseye Arcade.
Ooh.
What is Bullseye Arcade? Because we had two arcades then, right?
We did. So our current arcade was more of our redemption arcade
Okay.
games, and then the
Okay.
Bullseye Arcade game was just all of the quarter drops, the Pac-Mans, and
Oh, gotcha.
and
Yep.
all of those. And that's
Okay.
that whole room was just that.
Very
And,
cool.
and that whole building where it currently is now was divided. So 2/3 of the toy store was the arcade, and then 1/3 of it on the right side was our old time photos.
Yes, old time mugs.
Yes. Oh, I think I have a
It's-
Silverwood photo from that with my dad too.
I think a lot of people probably do.
Yeah.
So old time mugs was like, I mean, describe it for people that don't know what that is.
It's where you came in. We had a bunch of old costumes, Western, Victorian, and they'd come in and take a picture in front of a scene. And so we had that for quite a few years.
It was very cool.
Yeah,
Everybody
really
loves
cool.
to play dress up.
It was
yeah.
really good, and then it obviously slowed down, which is why it's not there anymore. But
Yeah.
there was definitely a lot of people took pictures and a lot of memories.
The
We have-
digital age.
And
yeah.
in High Moon Saloon upstairs, we have some old photos. And I think Justin's in one of those
Are you?
photos.
We're gonna have to pull that out and put
Yeah.
it on social. Yeah. So.
There's a lot of people that are in those photos. Paul's in it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
it's
then
great.
it's definitely going on social.
Next one. Name the location nearest to the Thunder Canyon entrance on the opposite side of the pathway. Does that make sense?
Um,
If you're walking towards Thunder Canyon entrance,
okay. Yeah.
to the south.
To the south. Okay,
Walking
the other
towards-
direction.
yes.
Okay.
What's across? Basically, where you would drop the quarters and spray people.
You want me to say what that's called?
Yes, I do.
Squirt guns?
No.
Oh.
What's across that? There's a food
Oh.
location there.
Oh, the food location.
Let me give you
It's
as
got
many hits.
slushies, doesn't it?
Yes, you're right.
I don't know what it's called though.
You're close.
I know it's part of the name.
Slush.
Yes, there's something blank slush.
I should know this.
It's not uprush. It's
Down slush?
no downrush slush.
Close.
Close. You're
I was
close.
getting there.
Okay. And in 1999, what was there?
Battle Zone.
Battle Zone.
Battle Zone.
That's correct. Yes.
Was it the same thing or?
No. Battle
was it?
Zone is
Nothing like
crazy.
Oh, what was Battle Zone?
No, it was a above ground pool that had 3 boats that shot Battle Zone balls. They're like a racket ball.
Right.
And so you had a lineup on the outside of the fence where you could buy buckets of balls to shoot at the boats.
So it was like Battleship, but
it was like
full size
Battleships,
version.
but a full size version.
Oh,
where we
I
had
loved
3
Battleship
Yeah,
as a
we had
kid.
3 boats out there, and
And people
probably
were
a
in the
dozen
boats
guns.
Oh, wait.
driving it.
You could pay to drive the boats. It was a 2-spot. You could have a driver and then the
gunner up there.
Can we go
top,
back to
and
the 90s? This all sounds
No.
marvelous.
It was a lot of fun. Very
Yeah,
popular
yeah.
game.
Yeah, because I
That's
remember
awesome.
doing it back in the day.
Yeah.
Because that, I mean, semi-recent, like early 2010s, that probably came out of there. Probably
it's probably-
2012-ish,
yeah.
13.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember being there, and I was on one side and my cousin was on the other, and all of a sudden I saw the hatch open, and he just picked up a ball and threw it at us.
And now we know why it no longer exists.
Anyway, don't recommend that. It is no longer here.
Did he hit you in the head with
The
it?
ride
No.
is
Okay.
gone, but we still find Battle Zone balls everywhere. Those
Really?
things will not go away.
Actually, when we first got up here to
Yeah.
scope out the podcast studio, there was one in this studio.
Was there
I don't
really?
know why.
Okay, how does that even happen?
I don't know.
They ended up
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's like, it's a
Yeah.
little souvenir that you can get.
seriously.
Okay, moving on. Name the first location on the right side when you enter Country Carnival.
First location on the right side. Well, that's where I get my fruit fatty funnel cakes.
You've skipped a couple things if you've
Oh.
gotten that far.
Okay, fine. Oh gosh, I don't think I've ever paid attention because I went straight to the fruit fatty funnel cakes.
Which isn't a bad thing.
No, it's not a
I
bad
mean,
thing.
There's a greenhouse right there. but
There's
that's
a
on the
greenhouse,
other
but that's
side.
on the other side. You're right. You were just pointing
What
out
is
that.
other?
You're probably not here late
there's-
enough for it to be
usually
really
there's
open.
a clown hiding right there during Scarywood. There's a fog machine
Yeah.
that blows in my face. But I have honestly never paid attention. So is it nighttime something or
It's Glimmer and Glow.
Glimmer and Glow?
Glimmer and Glow
Okay,
is
yeah.
that place. And
Yeah.
so in
Yeah, I don't think I've ever
1999,
seen it open.
what was Glimmer and Glow?
1999.
Yeah.
Mm.
I know we have a new kettle corn building.
Yeah,
but
that's not it, yeah.
That's not it. Okay, so we remodeled that. So.
Yeah. Do we got another stump? We might
Ooh,
want
this
another
is-
stump.
Yeah, give me a second here.
Yeah, okay. We'll give you a second.
Okay, my second's up.
Snack Shack.
Snack Shack.
Do you remember
Oh.
a Snack Shack? That's what the map says, a
The
Snack Shack.
Okay.
It might not
So-
exist because Justin doesn't remember it.
So
Yeah.
that was tied in. So there was a little building,
Okay.
and then right next to it, kind of in the same building, was like the kettle corn where we made that. So it was
Gotcha.
kind of it was a very small version because now we have a nice
Right.
larger building where kettle corn's
Okay.
at. But
Yeah, that map was
Yeah.
kind of hard to tell where things were, but
It was
Snack
so
Shack
fun to
and
look
kettle
at.
corn.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
so before the glow cart, I would say in '99 that was probably a folding table
Probably.
where we would sell glow sticks. And that
Oh,
turned into the glow cart
yes.
because we did so well.
you know what's
doing
funny is
that.
on the map it shows a glow cart up in the courtyard, the front courtyard, like across from the train depot.
we tried doing one up there at one point.
Yeah, so that's
Yep. But the entrance where you come into the country carnival, that was definitely a hot spot, which is why
Yeah.
we put
Yeah.
a small building there. And
makes sense. Last one I have, okay?
Okay.
Last one.
Here we go.
Name the location between Antique Cars
Mhm.
and next to Corkscrew and Caselli's Pizzeria.
Okay, wait, what?
There's a lot there.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Antique Cars, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'm just lumping Corkscrew and Caselli's together. It's on the same path
The
on the
bumper
right side.
cars, right?
You're going the wrong
No,
way.
I'm
Oh, the opposite way.
Darn it. North, south, east, west. Okay, wait.
She's bouncing around.
Bouncing, yeah.
The train tracks?
No.
Dynamite Dan.
No. Okay. Justin, you know what this-
She's off the court.
right.
now.
She's not, yeah.
I think we're talking about 3-point challenge.
3-point challenge. Yes. You know the basketball 3-point challenge?
Oh, I was not in the right place
You
in
were
my head. No. Don't follow my directions. I'm
okay.
going to get you lost.
You're going to get a nice tour. Okay.
Yeah. And maybe a compass.
Maybe a compass.
Would be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
In 1999, what was in that location?
Monster.
Monster is correct.
A ride.
Oh, what was Monster?
It was, some people called it the octopus too. They had like eight
Oh,
different
yeah, no,
arms.
yeah.
And it did the whole up and down while it spun you sideways.
I
and
remember that one.
one I didn't ride a whole lot.
Yeah, that one's a make you sick ride.
Oh. Well, what was Skydiver?
The skydiver
That
was one that
was-
made you sick too.
Yeah, what made my dad sick because
Yeah.
he was terrified for.
Because that location with Monster then turned into Trabant,
Correct.
right? And then
3-point.
and then
after
3
that.
points. So it's been through a couple things. There's a lot of
Yeah.
places that's been through a couple things.
Yeah. I do remember.
I was
like
very
that
familiar with the Monster because my second year in college, I did maintenance in the mornings before I went and did rides.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
and I would grease the Monster, and
Grease
there
the
was so
Monster.
many grease ports on that thing.
one. Oh.
I was the low man on the totem pole, and so
Yeah,
I
that's a
was-
lot of
yeah.
moving parts.
Monster
right there.
greaser.
Yeah.
That's a resume builder right there.
Yeah.
The Monster
I
greaser.
greased the monster.
Okay, well, that's the last of my questions. We have a final score. It is a lot to a little. Justin wins. Yay, congratulations.
Maybe I should have Justin give me the tour since you're my,
probably.
yeah.
Yes.
He's the one
Okay.
that trained me.
Here we go. We're going to move on into,
My favorite sound in the whole entire world.
yes. So this is our inside scoop sound because the ice cream truck is coming. So Sarah, what is the inside scoop?
Yes, the inside scoop. We want to know your top super secret inside scoop that'll tell guests a great tip for this 2025 season. Something that's going to make them feel like a total VIP nobody else knows. But everyone listening to the
Oh
podcast.
yeah, I know. that no one else knows.
Until now.
Yeah.
No, I got to think for a second.
That's
I know,
fine.
that's
about
okay.
that.
Take your time.
Sure. I mean, on the side of desserts, like
Sure.
we mentioned the
Ooh.
elephant ears earlier,
Yeah.
is a tip would not be waiting till the end of the night because that line gets really, really long toward the end of
Okay.
the night because everyone has the same ideas they're
Yeah.
leaving.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, getting one of those early.
Get your elephant
That's a
ear
good idea,
early.
yeah.
Or funnel cake.
Yeah.
Funnel
Yeah.
cake early.
Yep.
Fruit fetty
either
funnel
or.
cake.
Yeah. The only one that you know
I got
is
it.
the fruit fatty.
I didn't know it for the longest time, but I know it now.
Yeah, it's getting pumped up a lot.
Yeah.
No, I think honestly, just having a plan, I guess, of when you
Yeah.
do come out, because there's probably no right or wrong way of which way you want to go, but as long as you have a plan, so you can try to take advantage of the most rides and use of your time while you're out here.
Yeah.
You know, I know our goal is try to get as efficient and get everyone the opportunity to do as much. But if you have a plan versus just running around
Winging
and just
it.
trying to do
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
I'd say just coming with a plan would be
Your best bet.
a good bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
I
And
like
they can get their plan right now on the Silverwood Express blog
Yeah.
because our 2025 visitor guide is out, and our last episode was also
About
a lot
the
of those
visitor guide,
fun
yeah.
tips to help you plan as well. So we've got you covered.
Yeah. And I have one last question that I thought of is
Yeah.
when people, guests come to the park and they leave for the day, what is your goal? What do you hope that they feel when they leave the park?
Oh, just happy. You know, like I've been here a long time. I've been through some stuff in my own life where Silverwood, the opportunity to just see smiles and help bring smiles to people's faces. Nights that I'm here, I like to hang out at the front gate at closing time just to say thank you for the guests that have come and, you know, see the smiles as they're leaving and being able to talk to them and just making sure that if there's anything we can do, we're putting our best foot forward to make it a special day for everyone.
Very much so. Very much so. And I think that's a great note
Yep, that's a great
to
note.
wrap things up on. Justin, thank you so much for being a part of the podcast today. If y'all see Justin out in the park this summer, make sure to stop and say hello. He'll be the one waving at you for sure. So, and that's a wrap on this week's episode of the Silverwood Show podcast. Don't forget to sign up to be a loyal listener on our website at silverwoodthemepark.com/podcast. And that's a wrap on this week's ride. Thanks for tuning in to the Silverwood Show. If you had a blast, make sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share the fun with your fellow thrill seekers. Got a question, story, or suggestion? Send it our way to podcast@silverwoodthemepark.com for a chance to be featured in our mail train segment. Until next time, keep your hands and feet inside the podcast and stay thrilling.
Let's go again!
Silverwood, come